Hello everybody, my greetings to all of you. I don't know at what point of time and what part of the day you're really going to watch this video, so I would not say good evening, morning or afternoon. So my greetings to all of you, and today I'm going to talk about something that is really is everywhere on our feed, on our Instagram feed, on our social media feed. It is literally everywhere, and it is also something which is it doesn't matter what party supporter you are or what sort of ideology you abide by. Still it is something which is moving you, and something which is sort of like, something which is making you really introspect and to really kind of give your reaction. So one thing about the recent political turmoil and the entire agitations, protests has literally taken all of us by shock and really made us question a lot of things, and most importantly introspect. And what happened yesterday particularly was something which was unimaginable and unthinkable. I mean, a protest of this absolute intensity, and the protest where so many people really went out and participated in the protest is something that we didn't even we didn't even thought of, like, something like this is going to happen yesterday. We saw around 10,000 plus people on the streets of Delhi, and this protest was not only happened in Delhi, it also happened in 5 other states. So the protest really happened in 6 states of India yesterday. Now, what is a protest? I mean, we all are very much aware about the fact that on 3rd of May 2026, what really happened is that the paper got leaked. The NEET examination, which is the your entrance examination for your medical students, that exam got leaked, and then what happened, then we saw that how 21 students lost their lives and they committed suicide because of the fact that the paper got leaked. And they were like, they were really saddened, and they were deeply shocked by the fact that the paper got leaked, and then they went ahead and committed suicide. Everybody had their own personal reason for what they did and why they did. So I mean, we should not judge them, but definitely it was something which was wrong. But definitely it comes down to the fact that, again, upon us, a suicide is not a suicide. Imail Durkheim, a sociologist, has said that suicide is not a suicide, it's our social act. So it's we who's forcing that person to do what that person has really done. And yes, that is the way how it really works. So I mean, to a huge extent, we have created a society like that, and a social structure like that, where we have made 17, 18, 19-year-old kids and youngsters, we've made them realize the fact that you're worthless if you have not cleared one examination. So this feeling is something which we all do feel, that if this one exam doesn't happen, then your life is worthless and you are just not worth it, and you're just not competent and you don't worth living. And in some families, this is way more rigid and way more strict and way more stringent. So then what happens is sometimes students take something like this because at the end of the day, they're kids. Everybody's committing suicide. Elders are committing suicide. People who are in their 30s and 40s committing suicide. They're still 18, 19-year-old kids who's very much malleable. So their opinion is not their opinion. It's just sort of like, comes from what they consume. So when they consume things like that, which tells them and which makes them believe the fact that they're worthless because of this one exam has not happened, so committed suicide. So the NEET got leaked. Then students committed suicide, and then after that we saw that the NEET examination got reconducted. And amidst all of this, we saw Chief Justice of India, Mr. Suryakant, giving a statement in the top court, where he said that today's youth, a certain section of youth, a certain part of youth is unemployed, and they have nothing to do, and they're on social media, and they have nothing constructive to do. And so what they're doing is that they're coming out and they are creating ruckus in the society. So he referred to a part and a section of a youth as unemployed and as a really frustrated parasite. Yeah, that's the exact word he used. He described a certain section of youth as parasite, and that triggered a very massive criticism against the Chief Justice of India. And he described a certain section of youth as cockroach, and that which eventually led to the formation of Cockroach Janata Party. And that's how Abhijit Deepke, this particular boy, he just went out and created the social media channel, and on Instagram they have some 23 million followers on social media, massive following in just few days. And then now it's been around 2 months of the formation of this Cockroach Janata Party. So it does not have its political existence. So it's not a party which is going to fight elections. So we're not aware about that. It doesn't have organizational strength. It doesn't have offices. It is not recognized by the Representation of People's Act 1950. So it's not a particular political party which is out there to contest election, but it is more of a symbolic party. It, as the Chief Justice of India mentioned about the fact that certain section of youth is cockroach. So this party got built up on that, on that. And then what happened that so it's not particularly coming from a space of like contesting elections, but rather it's a symbolic party right now which is expressing the grievances and the issues and the problems that the youth is facing in this country. So it's more of a youth oriented party. So it's more of a youth oriented party which is discussing the problems of youth and different things it's addressing. So then we saw that the CJP and Abhijit Dipke particularly, and so certain people like this Das and certain people of this party who are at the helm of the party and who are at the who are really controlling the social media and who has created the party, they went on Jantar Mantar and they started the protest. And then we saw they started the protest, and the demand was the resignation of Mr. Pradhan, and then they also wanted a complete overhaul of the education system, and they wanted the compensation for the families who have lost their kids, 1 crore of compensation per family. And then we saw that on 20th of June, Mr. Sonam Wangchuk, this activist from Ladakh, on whose life the movie 3 Idiots has also been created and made. So this Sonam Wangchuk ji, he came and he also started on a protest at Jantar Mantar. So, and then what really happened, he started his hunger strike. So he started his hunger strike, and on 19th day of his hunger strike, the Delhi police came and they picked him up and they took him to the hospital, because as Delhi High Court also mentioned about the fact that every person's life is precious and important. So the Delhi police came, they took him to the hospital. Now Mr. Wangchuk has released a statement from the hospital that he's going to continue his hunger strike and he's not going to break his strike. Okay, so the strike is still on. And then we saw that it all led up to yesterday. The monsoon session of parliament started, it began, it convened. And so what really happened that yesterday the protest was it came to its conclusion, like in terms of the fact that yesterday it came to the conclusion, and where all the protesters, and not only those who were sitting on hunger strike, but everyone, it was encompassing all protests, where everybody, whoever wanted to come and wanted to participate, they all went and they all participated in the protest. So that's why we saw tens and thousands of people on the streets of Delhi. They literally, like this sprawling and plethora of people out there on the streets and on the roads of Delhi, Raisina Road and CJP and Connaught Place Road, and multiple roads were really thronged by people, and that's what we really saw yesterday. And so this is something I have given you the entire context of the CJP, how CJP was formed, what is CJP, of Mr. Suryakant's statement about Mr. Wangchuk, and he sat on the hunger strike of demanding the resignation of the education minister, Mr. Pradhan. And then we also saw that that there was this massive discontent in the hearts of people about the examination process and why the papers are getting leaked. And then we also saw the fact that yesterday this translated into a massive spontaneous outburst of people on the streets and roads of Delhi, where everybody came out of their homes, not only students but people who in their mid-ages, in their midlife, like in 40s and 50s and 60s, they came out of their homes, they went out on the road, expressed their issues, expressed their grievances and their worryings about the country and about the state of the country. So it was not only then people really came out and expressed everything what was there inside their heart, and yesterday the visuals were really compelling to see people and to see the youth on the country protesting, to see people and from different caste, different religion, different sections of society, all coming up from different classes, from different caste, coming up out there and protesting. So I mean, it was not something which was just something that belonged to a particular religion or a particular caste or a particular class. It was encompassing all. So it was really wonderful to see all of that unfolding yesterday. It really gave us a very strong hope of the fact that democracy is alive, thriving, kicking, and nobody can shut the voice of people, absolutely nobody. And it was really wonderful to see all of that. And and I think it was a peaceful protest, but we saw that the Delhi police also was involved in lathi charge on the youth who were protesting, and we all saw multiple things like that way. But it was a peaceful protest, and what the protest wanted to do, it wanted to create a pressure on the government, and they wanted to make the government and make the parliament and make the parliamentarians of this country realize and fathom the fact that you can't be sitting out there with your ears and your mouth shut and your eyes shut. You have to listen to people, you have to recognize what is wrong, you have to take accountability, you have to stand up for the things that are wrong. And this is what is the demand of the party, and this is what is the demand of the youth, and this is what is the demand of all of us, that if you have certain responsibilities on your shoulders, you need to fulfill those responsibilities and make sure that you abide by those responsibilities. responsibilities. Because if you cannot do this simple thing, you have absolutely no right ruling over us, governing us, and telling us what to do and what not to do. Because if you cannot do your job responsibly, you have absolutely no expectations of us and of us as citizens of this country. So again, my opinion on all of this is the fact that I support the fact that Mr. Pradhan has to resign. He has failed as a minister, not once, but multiple times. Multiple paper leaks has happened. He has to resign. Has to resign out of moral courage and moral, standing, and also out of a certain sense of accountability to his job, to his profession. And what my opinion about the CJP is that I'm not a big fan of CJP party, because I don't even know what this party really stands up for. As I said, it's something which has been formed on just one statement given by the Chief Justice of India. So I don't know exactly what this party really is. So I would not rather go by saying the fact that I support the party. I am not there for CJP, but I really support the cause that the party has really has taken upon themselves and that they are fighting for. I really support the cause. I really support these rebels because they come from a cause of purity of purpose. So I really support them for that. That's my opinion on the party. And apart from that, my opinion in general about the protest that really unfolded yesterday is that something, as I said, this is what people really stands for. You can't really take anyone for convenience, and you can't take anyone for granted, because at the end of the day, you have to realize that the people in the higher echelons of hierarchy needs to always be aware of accountability, needs to always be aware that for whom they are there to serve. So we the people, for the people, by the people, a democratic nation that literally was out there on these roads yesterday, and which literally sent a strong message out there that this is the way how it really exists. And as we always say, that roads are the parliament of the common man. And yesterday we literally saw that. Yesterday we saw that how roads, they became the parliament of common people, of common citizens, and of people who have absolutely no privilege, no access, no luxury. But their biggest luxury, their biggest privilege, and their biggest access is the road, and just reclaiming their space. So I think it was amazing and fabulous. And let's be very aware about the fact that it was not an anti-national protest or something like that. It just literally came from a very simple demand, logical demand, rational demand. For the first time, I really felt that it was amazing. Oftentimes we really feel that these protests are for no reason. But yesterday, what we really saw was something was really satisfying, because I think it was for a genuine cause, and that needs to be supported, and that really needs to be pushed forward and pushed further with full force, with full might, and with full clarity of purpose. Thank you so much. Please do express your opinion about the CJP party. What do you feel about the party? Please mention about the protest that really happened yesterday, and how did you really perceive that protest? And please mention about the fact that what are your feelings about the people who are demanding the resignation of Mr. Pradhan. Please express your opinion about that as well, and anything else you want to express, do express in the comments. Thank you so much.